I know, I know. Some of you might think I'm being a bit on the nose to compare Posy with Penelope, what with both of them kind of being wallflowers as far as the tone is concerned. And so, therefore, you have that bit of thought in your head wondering why on earth I would imply that these two young women are thriving in the ton when, based off of what we could see on screen, they both had to deal with the other young ladies who mocked them and looked down on them, not to mention the fact that neither Portia nor Araminta took their youngest daughter seriously, nor even considered the possibility of them finding good prospects or making a great match. And yet, ultimately, it is these two women who are so underrated within their society that really did find a way to thrive amidst the cattiness and chaos that is the season, or in the case of Penelope's seasons, and the ton itself. And I really would like to delve deeper into that. Now, before I start my yapping about Bridgerton, which I know it has been a long time since I last made a Bridgerton video, I would like to therefore offer my apologies for the break. Your girl caught a nasty ass flu, which had me laid out on my bed, barely able to leave it for almost an entire month. It's been 4 weeks of being feeling utterly weak, drinking fluids as much as I can and sleeping for several hours at a time. I really, really hate being ill. So yes, my apologies in that regard, but not just apologies though. I would also like to say thank you to everyone who reached out in concern for my health, and also a big thank you to my lovely patrons and YouTube members whose support have been instrumental in helping me continue to make content, especially since I started doing this full time at the start of last year, which was the last time I was in paid employment. And a special shout out to Lena, Sherry, and Holly for their extra support. You get all the hearts and kisses too. Mwah. If you too would like to support me on Patreon or become a YouTube member to enjoy certain perks, even get a shout out, the link to do so is in the description bar. Now, with that said, let's come back around to the characters of Posy Lee and Penelope Featherington, who, like I mentioned in the thumbnail of this video, are more alike than most people actually consider. And we'll get the obvious bit of similarity out of the way first. They are both the youngest daughters of mothers who, for varying reasons, are obsessed with seeing their daughters find themselves a good match and are willing to do anything to make that a reality, and yet at the same time play favorites as it pertains to which daughter or daughters they support and have put all their hopes on. With Portia, it's Prudence and Philippa, as her assumption with regards Penelope is that her wallflower ways are insufficient in helping her catch the eye of the appropriate suitor. That, and in the addition to the fact that the ton is quite clearly biased with regards how Penelope isn't seen as conventionally attractive, as the men of the ton are more inclined to gravitate towards other women. So, of course, as the audience, we are very much aware that this is bullshit, and Penelope Featherington not only has a face crafted by the gods, but she also has the body and bountiful assets to bring anyone to their needs. But unfortunately, a lot of the ton is blind at first, and it doesn't help either that for her first 2 seasons on the Marriage Mart, Penelope was being dressed by her mother, who does have questionable tastes in color and fabric choices. And so what then occurs is that Pen is relegated to the background, where she gets to observe, glean the secrets of others, and chuckle at the fact that she knows so much more than she's letting on, is so much more than anyone can ever possibly imagine. And that is what makes her, being on the outside, observing the situation of things, so fascinating for her, and makes for a very interesting season for her as well. The same can be said to apply to Posie as well. Now, where Pen's interest is in books and adventure and things that Portia can't possibly fathom, and to which she believes is a waste of time, since their society has conditioned women to only have interests that will draw the attention of the man that they desire and not put them into a situation where it would have them seen them being the women, seem smarter than the gentlemen of the ton who they so desperately want to match with. Things with Posy are a little different. Yes, like Pen, she too is a wallflower who exists on the fringes of their society, easily dismissed and ignored, especially in the face of her older sister Rosamond, who is clearly the prize jewel that Araminta has set all her attention and hopes on. Rosamond is beautiful and ambitious and vain and clearly in sync with her mother with regards to her plans to nab her the most eligible bachelor of the season, aka Benedict Bridgerton. And so as far as Araminta is concerned, Rosamond is deserving of all her attention and effort, and Posy exists only to be ignored and cast aside because she isn't, to Araminta at least, as conventionally attractive as her sister, nor is she as ambitious and cutthroat as Rosamond. As far as Araminta is concerned, Posy cannot make a good match because just like with Portia Featherington, Araminta has a pretty stilted view of what the young men of the ton desire in a potential bride. I actually do think Araminta and Portia are quite similar in a lot of ways, particularly as it pertains to their experiences when they were young women, which most likely colored how they then navigated their world and the expectations they had of their oldest daughters and the lack of expectations thereof as it pertains to their youngest. I find it interesting that at the ball, whilst Posy was pointing out that Benedict Bridgerton is a handsome man, Araminta's focus was more on the fact that Benedict has a good son name. It brought to mind Portia's words to Penelope that what is more important and romantic is security. There is a pragmatism to both Portia and Araminta which dictates their actions, which is what puts them at such loggerheads with their daughters, because both Penelope and Posy are two young women who are more whimsical in their approach. They believe in love, in fairy tales, in the absurd. Pen spends most of her time buried in the pages of a book or in the sheets of her writings, penning down her observations and living mostly within the world of her own thoughts. Posy is quite similar in that regard. Her nattering goes over a lot of people's heads and might seem silly to them, but it's proof of her fast yet quirky mind. The fact that she's able to keep herself entertained even amidst the rigidity that is to be found within the season. And I do think that it's this sense of levity that ensured that Posy, compared to a lot of the other young women of the ton, was able to actually enjoy the season, minus when her mother was on the warpath and searching for Sophie, of course. I think it says a lot that whilst everyone else was all caught up with presenting this perfect, flawless facade that meant that they really couldn't get to partake in and actually enjoy what the season had to offer them, you had Posy, who was able to tell her family that she had a blast at the Bridgerton Masquerade Ball and hoped that she would get the chance to attend more in the future. She wasn't complaining about her feet or how boring it was. She had fun. And even when they were dismissive of her ramblings, it didn't stop her from letting her honesty shine through. Yes, she was delighted that Benedict came to call on her, but rather than spend the time pretending to be someone she's not and aiming for seriousness and coquettish behavior, which we know her mother would have approved of, darling Posy was talking about her dreams and her hands becoming feet to the amusement of Benedict. Oh yes, we know he came to see her under false pretenses as he was looking for the lady in silver, but he was also charmed by her regardless. Posy Lee, as she is pretty damn charming. I mean, why else would Lord Barnaby spend the entire season trying to get her attention and trying to secure a dance with her? It's such a great piece of poetic justice that on one hand there is Rosamond, who Araminta had such high hopes for and wasn't able to secure a match no matter how hard she tried, even with Araminta going as far as offering double the suitable dowry amount in order to help her catch the attention of a gold digger. And then you have Posy, who was simply being her goofy, interesting, funny, slightly autistic self, and she was able to effortlessly catch the attention of Lord Barnaby to Eloise's delight. It just goes to show that for Penelope and Posy, two young women who had always existed on the fringes of their society, who had been considered largely undesirable, especially compared to their peers and even their sisters, they are two young women for whom their mothers didn't have such high hopes for their matches. For them to turn around and secure matches that were so favorable, Pen nabbed herself a Bridgerton, for crying out loud. For them to be able to do so without having a personality transplant or letting go of their quirks and becoming boring as a result, or forcing themselves to become practically the same as every other young woman searching for a match, for them to not have to do any of that and still come out on top compared to others, it goes to show that they really did win in their seasons. And the best part of it for me is that they got to enjoy it. They got to have fun with it. Hell, Penelope got to make a shit ton of money from them. Remember Portia, Louise, and Colin's shock when Pen was like, well, she does have enough money to pay off Cressida's blackmailing ass. Penelope was rolling in dough. She was able to have it all. Her personality, her writing, her man, and her business empire. Like, sure, she walked away from the business empire because once the anonymity was gone, she didn't really have the heart for it anymore. But she was still able to accomplish so much until that point. And even after that, Posie was present with the rest of her family. And whilst everyone else was terrified upon meeting the queen and having her come to the realization of the shenanigans that was going on in the Earl of Penwood's household, Posie was the only one present who was laughing along with the cackling queen. One could say that she maybe didn't understand the gravity of the situation, and that is why she was able to laugh alongside Queen Charlotte at the hilarity of things. But honestly, I really do think that it's because to Posie, all of this is part of the sheer insanity that was the season, and she was still having a blast with it amidst all the crazy ass turns it took, the unexpectedness of things. I mean, think about it for a moment and let's consider the wild ride that Posie has had to experience that season. She attended her first ball, dealt with her mother and her sister being absolutely horrid to Sophie as usual. Sophie got fired and was kicked out. Posie stole from her mother in order to help Sophie get money she needs to move. The estate was given to her stepfather's relative, which meant that they needed to find a new place. Her mother sank in all their money in order to become neighbors with the Bridgertons for the sole purpose of helping her sister catch the eye of Benedict Bridgerton, a plan that most certainly did not work, because would you look at that, Benedict is instead interested in Sophie, plus Sophie has found her way to work for the Bridgertons, and now everything has come to light. Her mother stole Sophie's inheritance. Her sister had no choice but to turn her attentions to Lord Stotter, since Benedict Bridgerton wasn't giving her the time of the day, only for them to find out that Lord Stotter didn't actually like Rosamond. He instead liked the thought of her more than substantial dowry, a dowry that got to be that size because her mother had stolen Sophie's inheritance. And now that there was no money, Lord Stotter walked away. And in the midst of all of this, the queen helps legitimize Sophie, who gets together with Benedict, and Posie ends up discovering that the cute Lord Barnaby, who listens and enjoys her rambling, likes her as well. I mean, when you put all of that into consideration, it isn't a stretch to believe that as far as Posie is concerned, the London season was one of upheaval and love and loss and sheer hilarity that she otherwise would not have been able to really appreciate and participate in if her mother hadn't brought them to Mayfair. Say what you will, but Posie is deserving of the world. She's kind, she's sweet, she's smart, she's definitely neurospicy, and she's loyal to boot. Being able to do all of that, be herself to the truest extent, and still get the man of her dreams and the family that she desires in the Bridgertons, my girl won. Big time. Like, yes, I know Bridgerton season 4 is for Penelope, and you all know how much I love Sophie Beck, but I am not going to lie. Posie Lee stole the show for the season for me. She and Penelope proved that you can be a wallflower, you can be considered a little bit kooky, and you can be underestimated by those around you, even the very people who are meant to love you unconditionally. And yet, even with all of that, there is nothing stopping you from getting your happy ending and having your wishes and desires come through. And I personally find that absolutely lovely. But of course, these are just my thoughts. I would, as always, love to hear yours. Whether or not you agree with me, please share them in the comments. Like this video, however, if you've watched this far and haven't done so yet, but enjoyed anything of what I had to say, share it so others can find my channel as well. Or you can check out my gaming or ASMR channels if they sound like something you might potentially be interested in. I have them both linked in the description bar. I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Until then, do remember, obsessing over the things you love, perfectly valid coping mechanism.